Send wave after wave of listeners to Baby Beard Media.
All right, well, that was a bad suggestion. Shut up and take my podcast.
Hey everybody. Welcome to Shut Up and Take My Podcast, where we look at every episode from the beginning all the way to the end and beyond until it's done and finished. We're on episode 7, guys.
Hooray!
So the episode is My Three Sons. Director is, I can't see over my mic. This is great. Jeffrey Lynch and Kevin O'Brien. So Jeffrey Lynch, he was, because we were watching it the other week, he was the assistant director for Iron Giant.
Cool. I like Iron Giant.
And the Spider-Man trilogy.
I like the Spider-Man trilogy.
Spider-Man 3, different podcast.
We can talk about that later. We'll talk about it after.
And Kevin O'Brien, he was the storyboard artist for not only The Simpsons, but a lot of Pixar films. So like Ratatouille, WALL-E, Incredibles.
Cool.
And I think The Good Dinosaur. Anyway.
We can talk about that later.
Yeah. Writer is J. Stuart Burns, who wrote the Futurama game.
Oh.
I don't know if you ever played the Futurama
No, I
game.
never played
I
it.
didn't.
I did.
You did?
Yeah. So you're trying to battle Mom because her and various other characters brought in through the game because she's bought the last stock price. I think the last piece of stock on planet Earth, or like the 51th percent of Earth stock on Earth, the Earth stock market, making her owner of Earth.
Owner of Earth.
Yeah. So it's like a real rip on like capitalism and like, you know, the Earth is like part of the stock market and you can buy into it. You know what I mean? So it's like you have to fight against that. Yeah,
So,
it's really funny.
He wrote that.
Cool.
1 second.
Gross.
Oh, that's a lot of coke. Air date, May the 4th, 1999.
Be with you.
And we will be seeing Rogue One soon. And now that we got a lot of podcasts in the pipeline, it's great. Introducing the catchphrase, good news, everyone.
Yeah.
Get that for the first time.
Yep.
Will not be the last. Oh, and Elsa.
And a strong reaction to this Bender's reaction to good news, everyone.
Yeah, straight away.
Yeah, it's
not going to be good.
It's not going to be good. It's great.
It's really not going to be good.
Elsa. Yeah,
Elsa.
I love Elsa.
Bam. Based on a real life chef, but I don't quite know his name.
I forget as well.
Yes, I do. Emerald Lagasse.
Okay.
Yep. Don't know anything about him. That's all I can give you.
I know he has give it a blast to your spices, like not a spice weasel, but like he'd like bust out like spices or like those big crackers.
I was going to say,
things.
Yeah, those
I thought
big
you were saying that was
crackers.
his catchphrase.
Bam was also his catchphrase.
Oh, I think it's like,
Yeah.
give it a blast.
Bam!
Give it a blast.
Give it a blast. Yeah, give it a blast from your spices.
If Futurama was made now, it'd be like Gordon Ramsay.
Yeah,
And he'd be
absolutely. It'd be aggressive
Give it a
and violent. Yeah.
Who wants to run down the plot?
I'm happy to.
Yeah, go for it.
Fry and the crew deliver a sign to a planet. Fry accidentally drinks a bottle of water which contains the planet's emperor on it, assassinating him and becoming the new emperor.
I think we can leave it at that.
Yeah.
Basically. Also, the side plot is Bender is a chef and really sucks at it because he has no taste buds because he's a robot.
Which is the first time we see Bender as a chef.
Yeah.
And what was great was initially that was going to be the plan for Bender, is that they were going to give him his job on the ship, which was initially was going to be a chef, then he was going to be a translator, and then they just thought, well, it's probably better if he's just a bum.
Yeah.
Give him that's like comedy gold. Better if he just is a robot that can't do anything, but does a lot of things.
And they bring in the chef line occasionally.
Yeah. Which will
like-
have Elsa later as well.
Yeah, which is great 'cause,
30%
like,
Iron Chef.
Soylent Green.
No, it's just great because like the first 10 minutes?
Of this episode.
Yeah, just a bit under 10 minutes. It's
under.
like you think it's going to be just be like a Bender story.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
wanting to be a chef, and we get to see that later, which is great. But we get like a hint of it now, and it's great.
Well, again, it's the same thing as in the series Has Landed episode when we see Bender get the magnet stuck on his head.
Yeah.
And he becomes a folk singer.
Yeah, everything comes back. Which is fantastic.
It's setting up
It
little
rhymes,
kind of
it
character
depends.
traits that they don't need to kind of further on straight away, which is nice. Like they don't just need to introduce character traits and then delve straight into an episode about that.
Yeah.
They just lay these little seeds, like Leela's quite lonely.
Yeah.
And so they bring up that date early on in the earlier season, but they don't make the whole episode about that. They bring up Bender as a chef.
Yeah, they have when Leela's in the store. In this episode, she's buying the romantic.
Yeah, like no one can
crushed
resist
herbs.
it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I'll take 2.
Yeah, 2 kilograms, 2 pounds of like this crushed herb. that makes people fall in love with you.
Futurama's doing good character development.
Yeah. What do
and
we
then
think,
the
guys?
story can begin.
Yeah,
What do we
absolutely.
think?
I love it.
It's a great episode.
Yeah. It's one I've seen so many times, like throughout my childhood, but I don't get sick of it, and I love it. It's one of I guess one of my favorites from the first season.
Ah, really?
Yeah.
I think it has probably one of my favorite quotes in it. The story about the grasshopper and the octopus.
Octopus?
Yeah, with the grasshopper.
All winter, the grasshopper was like bearing
his acorns while the octopus mooched off his mother. Mooched off his girlfriend.
Which is how you live your life.
Yeah, it's how I live my life.
Yes.
I live like the octopus.
Oh, you're the octopus.
I'm the octopus.
Oh, okay.
I'm not the grasshopper.
Yeah. He's
Because
not saving his acorns.
no,
He's mooching.
because I'm waiting for the grasshoppers of the world to die.
Yeah.
And then I get a race car.
It's so true.
No.
I like how it ends. And then he gets a race car. Is any of this getting through here?
This was an episode that was initially meant to be episode number 2. So this
Really?
was going to be one of the first stories they brought in.
I remember you mentioning that. Yeah.
And
That's very strong. I felt this is one of a very strong episode where it's like it's just pretty simple story, but like great jokes throughout.
Yeah.
Just solid, completely.
Yeah, it's a really good episode. It features the full cast.
Yeah.
Minus Hermes Farnsworth, like in the main thrust of the
It's
narrative.
the traveling crew.
the traveling
Hermes
crew.
is there to initially push Bender towards becoming a chef.
Farnsworth is there to do his plot device
Yeah.
stuff where he introduces the plot.
The Galaxy of Terror.
Yeah. I've all got names like that in the Galaxy of Terror.
Yeah, it's
I like how
fantastic.
there isn't like a shock face from the crew. It's like they just accept it.
Yeah.
It's just a name, okay?
See, I'm fine with the crew accepting it. I love that Fry accepts everything he hears. Yeah. Okay, let's go.
So what I think my favorite moment, and I'm interested to hear your favorite moments, is Fry bartering with the mob guys.
The mob guys who want like the organ
thieves.
Yuri.
Yeah, the Russian kind of organ thieves, where it's just like, hey, this says Z-Ray.
Z is
better.
just as good.
It's two
In fact,
more than
it's
X.
better.
It's
Two
better.
more than X.
Two more than X. If you have gills, you don't need lungs now.
I take lungs this week. Next week you'll get gills.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do love when basically that painting goes up, or like that little slit comes out of the painting, and the straw comes out trying to drink,
Trying
Fry,
to drink
and
Fry.
trying to assassinate him. You thinking he's a liquid?
Those
Quit it.
both the
And he
things are the
slaps it
two
away.
quotes I've written down as my favorite moments.
really?
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, like one physical gag and one line. Yuri's just great.
Oh, I like this episode because it is so dark in places. Like it fleshes out a darker, more mature setting than, like, say, The Simpsons.
Yeah.
We have the crack.
Yeah, you go crack.
Which, the network did not enjoy that
not?
joke.
I
I
bet not.
bet they didn't.
I can't believe that stayed in.
Yeah.
Like the fact that I'm amazed how early on how some of the jokes that they are able to get away with.
I
Fox.
know.
The suicide booths and a crack vending
I
machine.
thought they rationalized it
That's the
as
word we
like they
want.
were like, he's not using crack, he just wants it. It's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
He didn't actually commit suicide. He
Yeah.
just wanted
Look,
to.
Yeah.
he just went into the booth. When the booth opened, he wasn't there.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he died.
Exactly.
This is the first time we see Bender pay for something.
Oh, he
Oh my
pays for
God.
the
The car
Neptunian.
wash.
Oh, the car wash.
The car
in the
wash.
cold open.
He doesn't have the coin on a string.
But he probably stole that coin.
Maybe.
Knowing Bender, yeah.
The cold open's great.
Cold open
as
is
well.
fun. Hilarious.
It's very fun.
Because we get a lot of cold opens earlier on, but they do start to phase them out because their idea is they wanted to start waking audience members up very quickly by having the theme music just hit them instead of easing them in with the cold opening. So you'll see that less and less as the seasons go by.
I don't mind a cold opening, depending on.
I think it gives the main story a better thrust by eliminating the cold open. You get more time to work on the main story, and I think we were talking about it with the box planet. Like,
yes,
what is it?
definitely.
Fear of
Fear of a bot planet.
Fear of a bot planet. It could have had like an extra minute or two.
Yeah, and it didn't give anything to the story.
Yeah, and
But see, I disagree with that. I just enjoyed that short little
It was enjoyable,
like five
but-
second gag. I didn't need it to be anything more than that.
No,
So
no,
I'm different with that.
What I'm saying is, like, had we gotten rid of it, the episode as a whole would have been better.
Yes, but like, we'll just say this episode.
No,
I don't think.
No,
we,
I
like,
agree.
no.
It
I
didn't
agree.
even need any. For me, it didn't even need any more time.
No, that's right.
No.
At all.
This episode in particular is very well crafted.
Yeah.
And it's a formula that comes up quite a lot, which is little opening segment that'll be about something that's not the main plot. Then we'll get to Farnsworth giving them the spiel around the
good
table
news.
about the planet they're going to go to.
Yep.
Get the delivery, go there. It doesn't quite work out the way they intend to. Shenanigans, learn a lesson, head back.
Yeah.
Or not learn a lesson.
Or not learn
Yeah.
a lesson.
But there's like some really great stuff. Like just because like we get introduced to Bender, like he likes cooking, and then
Yes.
he starts cooking.
Yes.
Then he cooks the slug, which makes Fry thirsty, which makes him drink the Emperor. I'm like,
Yeah.
that's just so good.
Yeah, yeah. It's a current theme. It's a current through line as a story device. Like
yeah.
it isn't used as a gag.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
used to further the main story.
Yeah.
The subplot is used to further the main story.
Which also gives my other favorite line, which is, what? I used 10% less than a lethal dose. Zoidberg, oh no, I shouldn't have had seconds.
Zoidberg featured, I guess, quite prominently more than he would usually do. Like in the past episodes that we've been seeing, he pops up here and now for like a quick line. But he had a fair few bit of dialogue, especially when they're like locked into that room trying to survive. Like Zoidberg's trying to help out of all these terrible ideas, but like he's actually getting like a lot of things to say.
As did Amy.
Yeah.
Because what's interesting is that plot, if they wanted to, they could have erased Amy and Zoidberg, and they could have furthered the episode quite easily. It could have easily been just Bender, Leela, and Fry going to the planet. Near the end, Bender's trying to get Fry to cry.
Yeah.
And it's just him doing that, then Leela comes in. But no, they give extra time towards Zoidberg and Amy.
It is good because like you're in the first season, you want to give more to everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it doesn't detract from the triumvirate.
No, I just love it how like
Triumvirate?
Triumvirate.
For-
I coined that a few weeks back, and I like that it's stuck around.
yeah. It's a great word. The inclusion of Amy and Zoidberg doesn't take away from them. They're complementing Bender, Fry, and Leela. The stuff they say about those characters reinforces who they are. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Amy is like, no, Leela's fine. Bender like tells her to shut up.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
And that reinforces that Bender is willing to like lie and cheat to get the goal. Like that's his.
Yeah.
That's how he operates.
I just love how like Zoidberg gives like that idea of like basically spinning Fry into like the solid the
always
two liquid
forget
masses.
about the bones.
The
bones.
centrifuge,
and then
yeah.
basically like the water people bring out this giant orange
Juicer.
juicer, and it's like, why didn't I think of that?
What was it, the Juicer 4000?
Yeah.
Whatever it is.
And it was going to crush the pulp out, so then the Emperor will be free. It's like, oh no, they're throwing little ice cubes in.
So yeah, how do we think this guy stacks up against Love's Labour's Lost in Space still?
As
That's-
far as comparing the two episodes.
Yeah.
Look,
very tough.
I think this episode may be better.
That's what I was thinking.
And the reason I say that, I think it's because we have a character who, the aliens aren't brought back in. They're
Yeah.
kind of one-offs.
Yeah.
So this is a kind of clean episode as far as like it can slot anywhere in any of the seasons.
Yeah,
and it really
definitely.
would have had the same impact.
One of the only aliens that returns is Florp, who
Yes,
was the comedian.
The comedian who does another comedic stand-up piece
that we don't get,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
they get.
Yeah. So like I think it's cleaner than maybe Labour's Lost in Space.
Yeah. I think this is, we see where it's gone. I would still stick with Love's Labour's Lost in Space. But I've already given my reasons for that in past episodes.
Yes.
Me personally, I think it's a more quintessential Futurama episode to my taste, and I think it's structured better and engaged me further. But I think you're also awarding to
Yeah, this episode. Man.
this episode.
Wow. Okay.
I think just because the comedy elements were great, but we get so much development with Bender at the start.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
then following Fry's like journey into becoming an emperor, it's just so solid. And the fact that it's not just, I do love episodes that would just say leader or Fry or Fry or Bender, but it's them, but it's also the crew as well, and they get their time to shine.
I was going to
guess.
say, I think this episode is the only episode that we've had where all three of them are developed.
Yeah.
Well, all three of them show their own unique strengths
Yeah.
and weaknesses.
Well, you've got. This is the first time where Leela, in a sense, abandons Fry to his own devices, saying, "You know what? I'm not going to meddle now.
Yeah.
You can deal with this on your own."
Yeah.
And I'm pissed off because of that.
Well, really is the first time that we've seen all three of them as the focus. Like this isn't, I don't think it would be fair to call this a Fry episode. I don't think that's a fair kind of assessment. Yeah, he's the protagonist because he's the series
I don't know,
protagonist.
this feels like
This feels like all three of them.
Yeah, but
a group one.
Even with the three, like they're the center. But I would say this is like for me like the real crew adventure.
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
all there. They're all involved in the story, and like where previous ones where it's like just Bender and Leela go deliver like bolts to the robot planet. That's where's the rest of them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It feels a little empty. Like having everyone there, not necessarily focusing on everyone, but then giving them their moments.
Well, even before they journey to the other planet, we have Bender pursuing his cooking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the people to criticize it is not just Fry rocks up and goes, "Hey Bender, what are you watching?" Nothing. Shut up. Like it's actually Leela and Fry.
Yeah.
So it is instantly from the moment that one character is introduced to another character in the episode, it's all three of them.
Yeah.
So I think it is a group episode. So that's why I kind of like it.
Yeah,
because
that's
it's
what I
all three of them together. Because the Love's Labour's Lost in Space is a Leela episode, and Bender and Fry don't really do much.
Yeah.
They're kind of pinned into that. Like, they have their gags, but they're not fleshed out.
Yeah. Well, the three of them are probably the most important characters in all Futurama.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. And so it varies from episode to episode who's the dynamic. I mean, it's usually centered on Fry, but
Yeah, it's one person complementing
it's the
another.
best friend or like the love interest.
Yeah.
And for me, for me personally, I'm fine with in Love's Labour's Lost in Space, Fry and Bender not getting fleshed out because that is attributed to introducing and fleshing
right.
out
Two other
Brannigan
characters.
and Kif, which
Yes.
is going to become so much more prominent in later seasons.
Yes.
It's a good trade-off because
Yeah, it is.
then I would feel you would just be loading the episode too much. If
Oh,
you're
no,
always
absolutely.
trying to do that.
No,
So-
and
that's what you mean.
Exactly.
And it's not a criticism
no,
of
of course
Lovely.
not.
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
just down to general taste.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
definitely.
What did we... Oh, I suppose we have to do voices now.
Yeah,
Why did I bring it up?
I know.
I
I'm happy
doing
that you did. I was maybe going to let it slide.
I hate doing
No, you
voices.
can't let it slide.
You can't let it slide. If you've made
I
us...
love that it's like Stockholm syndrome now.
Yeah.
Like this was last week. Last week I said, no, we won't do it. Let it slide because doing Zap. And then James goes, no, we got to do it.
You
Pick
have to do
someone.
it.
So yeah.
You've made us your pawns. You've made us puppets.
Puppets.
Sean and his pawns.
Ugh.
It's the perfect.
Sean Porn.
Sean porn.
Let's... No.
Seanography.
No.
There we go.
Oh, shaking
I've
my
coined
head.
it and it's in the stratosphere of the internet now.
Yay.
Sadly.
Ooh.
Our lives are richer because of it. Thanks,
Thank
Sean.
you.
What voice would you like us to do, Sean?
Oh,
Amy Wong?
I was thinking that because we've never had good luck with female
Elsa?
cast. I'll leave Elsa for now.
Okay, we'll come back.
Amy Wong's going to be atrocious.
You want us to do Amy Wong?
Let's
then?
do, Kappa Kappa Wong.
No.
Oh, no.
Can't do
Okay.
women voices.
I'm gonna offend women and all people from Asian backgrounds
Good.
because I'm gonna try and do an Asian woman.
Okay.
No. Oh no, this is a bad time. Who's going first? Sean. Hey, congratulations, you've been volunteered.
Yeah, sure. Okay. I don't understand why this.
Wow, what was that?
I tried to go more for her high pitched,
Yeah.
like less on her Asian background and more on the high pitched female voice.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
sounded like
Didn't work.
I swear I heard a bit of New York and
Yeah, it did. It sounded kind of New York.
want?
What do you want, huh?
I'm walking here.
All right, go on, James.
Oh my god.
Was that it, or was that you freaking out?
Can someone give me a line? What's the line?
Gah, but I need a line.
Gah, Gappa Wong. I can't do
wow.
women's voices. It's just impossible.
These people are so mild-mannered.
These people are so mild-mannered.
I think it was just your voice,
Was that just my
That was
voice?
just
Yeah.
your voice.
like a happier Chris.
Yeah, well, that's how I imagine Amy Wong. Just a happy version
happy
of me.
Chris.
Splur? I don't know.
Are we fine just as long as we do like year 3000 slang? Gah,
Splur?
slur. That's her.
Duh,
That's like one of her biggest contributions
Is
to Futurama.
just- yeah,
introducing
interjecting.
slang.
Yeah.
And what's cool?
Yeah. Well, doesn't she turn her later episodes she turns her ironing board into a
Hover.
hoverboard?
yeah.
Hoverboard, yeah.
Because don't her parents give her the ironing board?
Yeah,
And she's
yeah.
like, no, I'm not having this.
No, I think they promised to get her a hoverboard because and then when she becomes a mum,
Yes.
they turn it into an ironing board.
Oh, yes.
Oh, and
So
also,
good.
I realize, I look, whether it's happened as prominently in past episodes, I'm not sure, but this is the first time I'm more aware of the fact that a lot of the characters are wearing different outfits and costumes. We got Zoidberg in his tuxedo, we got Leela in that green tank top,
Yeah.
and we've got Amy in her dress as well, as opposed to her pink
Yeah, jumpsuit.
weird little jumpsuit thing.
I'm going to use that to segue. If you had to be critical of a part of this episode, what would it be? I'm going to jump in. The green tank top. Such a bad gag.
Yeah.
I really dislike it as a gag. It's like, we've just changed a character's costume for no reason.
Well, at first
to get
I
a
thought,
gag out
At
of
first, I thought they were just because when I first initially watched this episode, I missed the punchline. I missed Bender. I think it was Bender making a comment about the tank top. So I thought it was just them trying out something different, which I was okay with that.
When I originally saw it, I thought it was a coloring issue. I actually thought it was a mistake. And then, as I was like, when that scene opened, I was like, coloring issue. That's strange. And then I heard the gag. I was like, well, okay, now we're never going to see this tank top again.
Yeah.
I feel like if they did the tank top, just keep it throughout the whole episode.
Yeah.
I feel
And
like
call
Lita
back
would
to
be
it.
like, I don't care what Bender thinks. If I had to say one thing that I didn't really like. It's when the organ donor throws his scalpel and Leela dodges it and Bender catches it.
And says thank you.
Thank you. That didn't need to happen.
Yeah, it's a bit weird,
It's
isn't
kind
it?
of like, I understand. Like, I guess Bender wants to keep.
I get
things.
it. Bender steals. Bender always loves trinkets and weapons
Yeah, but
and things. It read for me.
for a gag, it didn't really resonate.
Yeah,
I didn't see it as much of a gag as just that's something Bender would do.
Yeah, but I feel like it's just something to wrap up the scene.
Yeah.
Is it that felt like a ad break though?
Yeah,
and it
yeah.
feels
Yeah.
like a weird way to end to go to an ad break.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not the place to put an ad break,
Yeah.
but
All right. What felt off to me, and I don't know why exactly, and I don't know how you would fix it, because I just felt there was a scene or something missing from the time that Fry drinks the Emperor to when we get the reveal that the Emperor is still in his stomach to the end of the episode. I just felt like to me, there was just a scene or something missing. I wanted it to be extended a bit longer.
Like the
Sorry.
ending of it where like you just realize they're kicking him and stuff, and it turns out the Emperor's.
I just
beating
felt
him.
I just wanted to spend a little bit more time with the episode from the introduction of a storyline that Fry has drunk the Emperor. I
Right.
don't know why.
I think, can I suggest maybe why you might not have liked what you felt was a bit strange? The gala dinner
Yeah.
doesn't feel particularly long. We don't actually spend a lot of time with our protagonists. We jump to a comedy scene, to a gag, where newly introduced character does comedy that's deliberately alienating and
Yeah.
deliberately different.
Yeah.
Well,
You know,
it's that they're reusing that gag because that gag was used in a Simpsons episode where it's like white
Yes,
people
it
drive
was.
like this.
Yeah, well,
it's the same thing flipped.
Well, yeah,
and we
it-
also get the same
And I believe it's-
Simpsons joke. I like you and you like me. No, I don't like you and you don't like
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
I like you. What? Okay, fine. I don't. You like me, but I don't like you. No, what I wanted is I just wanted, and I know the point is it happens quickly. I know they established that
Yes.
you are the Emperor for a very short amount of time. I just wanted an extra scene where he is an emperor, and that's just me.
So, okay, maybe
He got a
then...
fair bit though. He was like lounging around, like being. Like,
maybe-
I wanted a bit
grapes
more
and-
of just
a bit more?
him being incompetent
Okay,
as
yeah.
a
Maybe
in
the
power.
concubine scene could have been swapped out for something else.
Maybe, yeah.
I did like the concubine scene.
I liked it
Yeah,
as well.
so I don't love
I
it,
know
but
what,
like,
I know
I
what you're
like
talking about, Sean. Like, it feels like Big Fry isn't given... Because he becomes emperor and then doesn't feel like he gains a lot of autonomy.
What do we have next week?
We have a big piece of garbage.
Yay!
That's the name of the episode. It's not...
No,
That's not an opinion.
Yeah.
I lost this round, so I just don't give a shit anymore. Yeah, fine. Big piece of garbage next week. Tune in if you want. I won't be here.
Two-man show.
Yeah. And, well, I have been Sean.
I've been James.
I have been Chris. Bye. Apparently, the we have been sounds really dorky.
How you doing, Steve?
Good. I
Yep.
was thinking of like, should I do a different voice for Steve?
Yeah, I was like, I hope he does.
Yeah.
Yeah, Steve. So what's it like being on the new podcast?
Yeah, it's great. It's really
What is that? So did you like the Futurama episode?
yarp.
If not, narp.
Yeah, narp is. Should we disclose? Oh yeah, I suppose.
I mean, you can disclose whatever you want. Like, I'm in
you're
charge
the
of the
editor.
editing process.
Creak, creak,
Yep.
creak, creak, creak.
No, well, it's a bit more. I won't describe.
I expect quality from my outtakes.
Pay us more.
Awesome.
I only pay talent.
I need.
Oh.